Welcome back to the Civil Interest Sentinel, where we unpack public policy eMzansi. Ndingumqondisi. If you've been following my videos, you will know I have highlighted some of the failures within the South African police services. The pattern is clear. Those are not isolated incidents. They point to a systemic, nationwide failure. Today, we are shifting gears. Instead of just showing the symptoms, we are going to diagnose this disease. Why is SAPS, an institution that started with so much promise in the 90s, now so deeply dysfunctional? The failure of SAPS is not an incident. It is the result of a long-term strategy that can be traced to two fundamental and interconnected issues: the appointment of incompetent leaders, and secondly, the subsequent abandonment of community policing as a guiding philosophy. Let's unpack this, starting from the beginning. The evolution of policing in the turbulent 90s. In the late 80s, the South African police, then SAP, knew that change was coming. They appointed an internal commission, the DeWet Committee, chaired by then ex-Commissioner General Henny DeWet in 1988. This was an old guard trying to adapt, and the committee made recommendations for reforms, including a push towards community-focused policing to improve public trust. While limited by its apartheid-era context, it laid a groundwork for future change. Fast forward to 1991, entered the Goldstone Commission, which was set up to probe the massive political violence ranging as South Africa moved towards its first democratic elections. Its key finding was a deep distrust between the police and communities, especially black communities who saw the police as a tool of oppression. The report called out police complicity in violence and the desperate need for reform. Especially, it confirmed and expanded on the need for community-focused ideas DeWet hinted earlier. Goldstone Commission's push was for transparency, accountability, and real cooperation. It stressed a total philosophical shift, out with the militarized and confrontational style, in with the community policing to bridge the massive trust gap. This idea was then baked right into the interim constitution in 1993. Section 221 specifically mandated community police forums at every police station. The new South African police services adopted a civilian sounding ranks to reflect the less militaristic, service-oriented approach. It was a direct pivot to partnership and problem solving. But laws and rank alone does not change culture. That's where training come in. Building on the finding from DeWet and Goldstone, a new curriculum for the police training was developed. The Police Academy in Graaff-Reinet, in partnership with UNISA, was tasked with teaching this new philosophy. The goal was to embed the importance of policy-community relations from day one. Changes in the new democratic order. In 1995, George Fivers was appointed as the first national commissioner under President Mandela. His mission was to merge 11 separate police, policing agencies into one unified service. Fivers, a trained cop, focused on consolidation and building that community oriented foundation. For a while, it looked like we were on track. But here is where the cracks start to show. The reversal began at the turn of the century with the appointment of national commissioners who had zero police training or experience. Policing has a deep subculture with its rules, norms, and instincts. Bringing in outsider who does not understand this subculture was like handing over a Boeing 747 to a person who has never flown before. This didn't just set them up for failure, it put people's lives in danger. It began in 2000 with Jackie Silebi, the first black national commissioner, and crucially, the first without any police background. He immediately piled on pressure for instant results, which caused panic within the ranks. Policing is complex, influenced by social conditions and factors outside police control. Quick wins are generally unsustainable. Then there was a symbolic moment. At a military funeral, an army general outranked Silebe due to more stars on his shoulders. His response? He added one more star to his own uniform. This was a profoundly misplaced set of priorities. Next up was Bheki Cele, appointed in 2009, again with no police experience. He chased the same instant crime reduction, and when it failed, he doubled down on the use of force as an answer. He famously pushed a shoot to kill doctrine, reverted SAPS to military style rank. This was a substantial departure from partnership policing, and worse, no groundwork preceded such a reversal in strategy. And then come Riya Piyerga in 2012, another outsider. Her inexperience was catastrophically exposed during the Marikana massacre. The subsequent Fulham Commission slams SAP leadership for poor planning and excessive force. Even when trained officers followed, there were often blind picks to ensure they go along with the political whims. Worse, Bheki Cele's return as Minister of Police in 2018 cemented his aggressive approach, further eroding any remaining idea of community-based policing. So, while community policing remained in our legislation, in reality it was abandoned for flashy, short-term tactics that looked good in headlines. The results: between 2010 and 2022, almost 60,000 cases were lodged against the police, with more than 3,600 deaths linked to police action. That included 11 people killed in Boipelo in 2011 and 34 minors killed in Marikana in 2012. A police institution without identity and vision. Today, the SAPS is still reeling from this legacy. It is a confused institution, unsure whether it should serve the needs of communities or impose its will through the use of deadly force. The truth is, if police lean into unnecessary force, they are not just fighting crime, they are breeding a more violent society. sowing distrust and escalating tensions. On the other hand, confusion breeds dysfunction, low morale, inefficiency, and the daily failures we are experiencing. For a massive semi military institution like SAPS, success demands steady change guided by standing orders, national instructions, rules, and training, not knee jerk changes announced on TV. So, what now? The new Minister of Police, Professor Kachalia, is rightly discouraging the shoot to kill strategy. A return to community roots is essential, but the implementation is everything. It needs a carefully roll out proper training and a buy in to avoid causing panic within the ranks. More importantly, this cannot be just Kachalia's philosophy. It needs to be a police philosophy that outlive changes in administrative and political leadership. Allegation made by Mkwanazi and the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry allows a critical opportunity for reset. So, there you have it. Policing in South Africa failed because of appointment of unqualified leaders. The subsequent ditching of proven community policing and a loss of strategic direction. We have got the history to prove it, from DeWet and Goldstone's call for reform to today's profound identity crisis. If this resonates, hit the like button, subscribe, and check my YouTube channel for those deep dives into real SAPS failures. Until next time, stay focused.